replied to this in a regular comment, but I felt that everyone else deserves an answer too. Yes, I will be finishing Hell House and doing other houses and other places after Hell House. But at this current moment in time, I've been passing out 3 to 4 times a day from my anxiety, and I'm mostly just trying to get through the day without hitting my head on something or, dying. So it's going to take a little bit of time for me to get back to normal. There's a lot going on right now. My best friend died. My papa from Hell House is now in hospice and is dying. I am trying to move and having marital troubles that are not your business. There's a lot going on right now in my life, and I do not have the energy to give any of that energy to the horrible things I've experienced in my life. So I am very sorry that I can't entertain you guys with that right now, but I have to take care of my health. I'm really not well right now, so I promise I will be back with some more haunted videos, finishing Hell House, and doing Hot House and all of the other places I've lived. But not right now. I'll get back to it soon. But I really need to claw out of this hole first. Oh, thank goodness. No, I am not. This is referring to the fact that when I tell my stories, it feels like I'm there again, due to my post-traumatic stress disorder. So, getting to tell you guys these stories about Hell House was like getting to go home. And I reached the point where it wasn't going to be my home anymore. Instead, it's just going to be an abandoned house that I break into sometimes. So, no, I don't live there anymore, but by going in time with these stories with you, it was like getting to go home. Y'all ready to hear another Hell House story? I bet you are. I bet a lot of you young people don't know what this is, but when I lived in Hell House, I started playing the game, and now you've lost it. All right, I'll stop pulling you around. Got my Hell House journals here. Let me just take a second and see where we are, okay? Ooh. Anyone know what that is? Anyone know what the long neck is? I still need to know if anyone has seen the long neck. My hair is just going crazy today. Okay, I know where we are. We are on The Man in the Suit Returns. Also, you like my new phone holder? It looks like a zebra. Anyway, The Man in the Suit Returns. So, y'all know that we moved out of Hell House and it went into foreclosure, right? So it was no longer ours. And we had to scramble to find a new place. And this was also during the time that I had just graduated high school in 2009. So I was really involved in the house hunting, and we ended up getting a little apartment close by that was much smaller than Hell House, much smaller. But that was okay because, my dad moved out and it was out of the streets. So you do what you got to do. And I started college. And there was a good 4 or 5 months in that apartment where nothing happened, and I truly thought that Hell House was behind me. Until one morning, it was still dark out. It was the first winter that we stayed in the apartment, and I was going down the stairwells that was not in my apartment, just in the general area, to go down to my car and go to school in the morning. And in the window, I saw something. I stopped and I just stared at it. This horrible sinking feeling of dread hit me like a ton of bricks, because I realized it was not over. Because in the window to the outside, staring at me with almost this evil smile on his face, was the man in the suit. And I didn't really do anything at the time. I really needed to go to school, so I kind of shook it off and walked past him and got into my car. But after the man in the suit showed up, I'm pretty sure he was the first one from Hell House that found us. Things started happening again. Not in Hell House, but in the apartment we lived in. So those will be the next few bits of stories I'll be telling you about Hell House. It's nice to be back. Yes, I was about 10 years younger when I heard about everyone else seeing the Hat Man. And I am fairly certain that that sort of demonic entity or energy was definitely in Hell House. I don't know that every Hat Man is the same Hat Man. I think it's more of like a breed of demon. But yeah, it is very interesting to me that other people see Hat Men. But the one that I really want to know is if anybody's ever seen a long neck. Have you seen a long neck? I want to find someone who's seen a long neck. Comment section is popping over on my new Hell House page, but I'm going to respond to them on here, because that is just an archive page, and anything new about Hell House needs to be here first. But my mom, she is responding about Hell House. So I'm going to make a couple of videos replying, and so you can see what she's saying right here. Obviously, you know, my papa, he doesn't talk about Hell House. But I haven't done an update on Papa in a hot minute. He's in hospice. He's back home. He's probably not going to be with us much longer, but he is home and he's comfortable. Alrighty, everybody. I think it has been far too long since we've had a Hell House story. I am so sorry. Where are we? I believe I just saw the man in the suit in our new apartment. And once that happened, things ramped up quite quickly. Because in the new apartment, I shared a room again with my brother. And it was the first time since I was 12 that I had been able to sleep next to him every night. And one night, very recently after I had seen the man in the suit, I woke up in the middle of the night to my brother making sounds that sounded kind of like a whimpering or crying. So I looked over and I saw this white figure with long black hair that was very thin and had elongated like limbs and stuff, crouching on top of his chest, leaning in to like stare in his face. So I got mad, like really, really mad. And I lunged out of bed and I punched it. And it just kind of dissipated and my brother could move again. And that was when I realized that I needed to do something, because Hell House hadn't stayed in the house, and it wasn't just affecting me. It was going after my brother, and that is not okay. And at the time, I launched myself into demonic research research into all different kinds of demons and all how to work with them, identify them, expel them, things like that. But I was still quite a novice. I didn't really know specifics. I was just going off of what I was finding anywhere I could. And I had a friend that I had met at work who is now my very, very special friend, Shelby. Hello, Shelby. I asked her if she would be willing to go back to Hell House with me. And by that time, it was almost a year after we had moved out. And I knew that no one had moved in, and it was just sitting empty. And my friend Shelby agreed. So we started making plans to break into Hell House. And that is the next tale, which will be multiple parts. And I just realized I misread your comment. That's my fault, not yours. And to respond to the actual comment, I miss the house too. I miss it a lot. I became a person in that house, and we never really got to say goodbye properly. We had to flee it really fast, and it felt like something really important was being taken from our family. I promise you, if I ever can, I will purchase that house again. It will be in our family again if I ever have the money, means, and it's up for sale again. And I will turn it into a paranormal museum. But there's nothing I can do about that now, except just take us down memory lane with some stories, some pictures. We had really good times, and we had really, really bad times in that house, and we left it in a really strange state, and that's got to do something to our psyches. So, yeah, I love you. Everything's gonna be okay. Sorry I misread your comment when I first woke up and thought you were talking about the mess. This is what happens when you are a person who reads things incorrectly sometimes. But that's okay. I'm not here to be perfect. I'm just here to be here. Yeah, I'm gonna wake up and do my morning routine and stuff, and then we'll see where we go from there. I love you. And I love everyone else too. If you are seeing this, that means I love you. Hello. Are you guys ready for another Hell House story? I think it's been long enough. This one I'm going to do slightly differently, because I know that several years ago, closer to the time that I did it, I wrote it down in my journal. So, what I'm going to do is I'm going to tell this story from my memory as it is now, and then I'll go back and read my entry that was closer to the time and see how they differ. And then it'll be a fun little memory project. But, we left off. I had started seeing some of the entities from Hell House in my new apartment. And I wasn't about to let that house continue haunting us without figuring something out. So I got together with my dear, dear friend Shelby, and we went over to another friend's house that lived up the street from Hell House. Parked our car there, invited my other friend, but she said absolutely not. She was terrified of Hell House and terrified of getting caught breaking and entering. So she watched over the car, and me and Shelby hiked down the dead end to Hell House. And it was completely dark, and we walked up to the porch, and I believe Shelby went to go and check if the door was locked, and it was. And I poked my head in between the two houses, and the backyard was completely overgrown and had grown up in between the houses, so it was completely impassable with this really thick underbrush that we'd only been not living there for a year, maybe a little less than a year. So there shouldn't have been extreme underbrush. And it was winter. I remember because we were wearing coats. But the greenery around Hell House was still green, which is not normal. But she told me it was locked, so I went up to the front door with my old key to see if that would work. But when I got up onto the porch, I swear, Shelby can corroborate, all of the lights in the house came on, and the door unlocked and went and opened itself, like it always used to, for me. We're gonna need another part. Sorry it took me a minute to get back to this. I'm having a little bit of drama in my friend group, but that's okay. Where were we? So the lights turned on, and the door opened for me, and we went inside. Now, the house was left exactly as we left it. Our stuff was everywhere. Dust was collected on everything. Nothing had been cleaned or touched. And the only real difference that I noticed immediately was there was some papers taped to the living room wall. And I went up to them and read them, and there was a notice that all of the water and all of the electricity had been shut off in the house. We turned around and looked, and all the lights were on. Flipped some of the wall switches. Nothing happened. They stayed on. So that was freaky. And the second thing was in the living room, where our living room clock used to be, you could still hear it ticking. And if you got closer to the spot where the clock had been, and there was like a little spot on the wall where the stain from the clock had been, you could hear that the clock got louder. It sounded exactly like our living room clock. But we had taken that clock. And then Shelby heard the kids splashing in the bathroom. So we went to the bathroom, and there was no water turned on, of course. We tried. Nothing came out. The house, it looked like an abandoned house. It was grimy and dirty. The tub was full of, like, muck that had accumulated over the year of no one touching it. But when we were in there, we could still hear water splashing in the bone-dry tub, and we could hear kids laughing. And then we went to the kitchen, because I had wanted to try to see if we could get down to the basement, but we could barely get into the dining room because the kitchen had overgrown like Jumanji in a year. In the middle of winter, it was green and so thick with these weird, thick, thorny vines that had busted in through the kitchen window and were growing thick up the basement stairs. Like, we could not get through there. Like, we would have needed a machete to get through that kitchen. And we didn't even try because it was so thick. And I do not know how the forest was able to grow up to the house and break into the house within a span of a year. I forgot that I needed to finish this story. I'm sorry. So, we were in the house, and it was all overgrown, and this is where I can't really remember where we did the Ouija board session. I can't remember if it was in Hell House, or right outside of Hell House, or down the street at my friend's house at Hell House. But anyway, it was in the area. And me and my friend decided to do a Ouija board session together to try to see if we could contact anything at Hell House. And boy, did we. I can't remember now what the responses were exactly, because this was many, 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 many years ago. At least 10 years. But the long end of the short of it is we got a name of the man in the suit. The name we got was Cain. And if you knew me and my brother, you'd know that we fought constantly. And it wasn't until I got the name of the demon that appeared to both me and him that I was able to start not fighting with him and actually build a relationship with him. And I think that particular demon was there to cause conflict between me and my brother, but he was not the biggest boy there, which was a continual search. We didn't learn that from the Ouija board, but after the Ouija board session we got really scared, because you know how Ouija board sessions can get. So we decided to leave. Oh, sorry, I just woke up. We decided to leave, and when we left, I told everybody goodbye, and as we were leaving the house, each room we left, the lights would turn off, and we went outside, and I heard the door lock behind me, and the entire house was dark, no longer welcoming, no longer inviting us in. And that was the last time I was in Hell House. Me and my friend stayed up all night that night talking about Hell House and what we were going to do next, but that was the last time I was in there.